A month off.
It's a Bitcoin podcast. The only one that's making your money is you. Listen to the Bitcoin podcast. So hold on and listen to the Bitcoin podcast.
Hold on. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Bitcoin podcast. This is episode 383.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure.
There.
Take a look at it. You can think I'm going straight from the dome. Straight
Getting
memory.
there.
That's right. Welcome to episode 283 of the Bitcoin podcast. I'm the host that talks first, Dimitri.
I am another host that is now back in the game. That usually talks second. Dr. Corey Petty.
And I'm the host that talks the third, Jessie broke.
Yeah. We're actually using the same special effects from Lord of the Rings to make Jessie appear really tiny. Just like Frodo.
We really get an awesome view of Jesse's upper wall.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, he appears small, but the power of his hair is mighty. How you doing?
What are you doing? What do you see? You reclining in a love sack? What's going on?
Who, me?
Oh, Jesse.
Me?
Yeah, where are you sitting? Why are you looking? Why are you so low?
I don't know.
Look how big D is. Look at the commanding presence of Dimitri.
That's right. I take up the frame.
I don't know. The camera's far.
I get framed.
Yeah. So, a lot has happened in crypto since we last put out an episode, and a lot has happened in our lives since we last. I'm in Vegas right now, fellas. That's what I'm doing right
That's
now.
not your new snazzy apartment?
No,
With like nice lights and a blurred painting?
No, that is Aria's decor. We're out here, Sometimes you gotta slide out to Vegas, for work. So that's what we're doing. But enough about that. We're gonna actually talk about crypto today. All right. A lot's been going on in the world of crypto. It's hard to explain. What's crazy is that we're still really early in this. I'm here at the casino talking to people, and there's like, I don't care about it. I don't know about it. I almost don't want to know about it.
Wait, you said you're at the casino talking to people. Can you explain that a little bit? Like, how are you talking to people? How are you bringing it up? How are you engaging them? Who are these people? Are you like at a blackjack table? Like, did you know crypto exists? They're like, go fuck yourself. I'm playing blackjack.
First and foremost, I'm a fucking baller. I just want to put that out there. So no, I'm kidding. We were chilling at the blackjack table, and
You are at a blackjack table and you're introducing crypto to people.
Yeah, I got a sign up that says I'm the crypto guy. No, it's just, in conversation, we're talking, and then people are like, oh, what do you do? How are you here? And then, I explain all that. And then, my coworker, he's like, yeah, and D knows crypto. He's got a Bitcoin podcast and blah, 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 blah. You know how the conversation goes, Corey. You just chilling, and then,
It isn't. Next time, look at him and go, it isn't a Bitcoin podcast.
It is the Bitcoin
podcast. The Bitcoin
But
podcast.
it doesn't matter. I'm just realizing that the only thing that I could say that stuck with them, because they're still not grasping the concept. It hit me like a lightning bolt. I was like, look, sitting right in front of that lady right there dealing out these cars is about $4 million. But is that dollars? And they were like, well, no, they're chips. And I'm like, all right, they're tokens of money. So like if that can help you understand that value can be imparted in things, then now people have imparted value in Bitcoin, right? And I was like, the difference between Bitcoin and them chips is I could take Bitcoin in my phone and spend it anywhere on the planet or convert it to a local currency. It's not just a token that belongs to this one casino. And they were like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. And I was like, I'm glad something kind of makes sense to y'all, because I've been talking to y'all all
been doing this for about a decade now,
Yeah.
and
So we're just so crazy early. It just blows my mind.
the thing that's interesting about that, right? That engagement is you explained the most basic part of this incredibly complex ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, say, the problem is on the flip side of that is the person you were talking to has heard about the other things in this complex ecosystem. So you can explain Bitcoin to them. Hey, here's this like financial payment system that doesn't have an intermediary for making sure that I gave you something digitally and I don't have it anymore. Real digital scarcity called Bitcoin. And they're like, all right, what's an NFT? And you're like, fuck. How do I go from that to NFTs?
It's a trading card. No, just
Yeah, but like, sure. Why is this trading card worth $2 million and Mark Cuban's cares about it? Like,
yeah, it's
how do you justify that part when we're having such a hard time explaining just the mere concept of digital scarcity and these networks that enable it?
I think when you communicate about any complicated topic, you cut it down and distill it for the knowledge that basically the receiver has, that that they have. And I mean, the nuances are lost, right? We know that. And so when you talk about NFTs, like offhandedly I say trading cards, but of course we know that they're more complex than that. But to somebody who you don't know what they know, but you can assume a baseline level of common knowledge, like, trading cards, then I guess you can start there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a way to start, especially differentiating it from Bitcoin or Ethereum or Ripple or whatever the hell people have heard about. Dogecoin, Shiba,
Yeah.
Moonsafe apparently is something that's popular in public domain. Like I don't know what people are hearing or where they're hearing it from, but it's mostly garbage. And when you try to explain the underpinnings or like why it matters, it's really difficult because more often than not, still, and I think this is going to maintain the main course of interest for most people, it's an investment vehicle. It's not changing anyone's lives other than maybe it makes them more wealthy than they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
For at least the people we talk to, right?
Yeah.
No, even normal people. Normal people look at NFTs the way that we looked at ICOs back in 2017. NFT
But I mean,
is just
that's not changing. It's not allowing you to do anything right now.
Mhm.
That's new. It's like, oh, I'm doing this thing, or like I'm getting this thing
Mhm.
for what I used to do that may end up becoming worth. Like, say, for instance, like if I go to a Dallas Mavericks game today, I
Mhm.
get an NFT for going to the Dallas Mavericks game for some reason because he's,
Okay.
Mark Cuban's all in, like balls in on NFTs. What does that do for me? It's a trading card basically that I may be able to do something with later on down the line. That's how most people will view it.
Mhm.
But there's so much more to that entire concept.
Mhm.
But I'm not sure how to like
Talk
get them
about
to
it.
care or talk about it. Like I mean, I will because we're building stuff at Status to do it. But until that's out there and I can give it to them, it's almost not even worth talking about.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's really tough to explain, especially the some of the concepts and the narratives over the years, like programmable money. I almost can't say that anymore,
Dude,
because go ahead.
I'm like lamenting on what you're saying. Imagine trying to explain. Actually, so I bought a house and I moved in, and all my grandparents, like so all my child's grandparents, so like my mother and my wife's parents came and like helped out while we moved stuff in, right? And the concept of the avalanche chickens came up because I bought my wife a chicken for shits and giggles.
For her,
And she loves it. And she tried to explain it to them. They're like, what? And because it has further dynamics. And then I try to explain like how the eggs feed, and then how I then stake those things to make Joe and more feed, and all of like all the dynamics associated with tokens that are generated from chickens. You can't do it. There's no way to do that unless you're like incredibly deep into this ecosystem. And I don't think that's like, how do you make games that make it more accessible to people to do this type of stuff or understand? They basically like high finance, but for games.
Mm-hmm.
You're asking how do you do that?
That's what we're doing, right? Like we're making games that is high finance. Like these are leveraged positions from base layer assets,
right?
But in game form.
Yeah.
So what do you
not all of them are like that, but certainly like chickens was. Are you asking like how do you get people to understand that though?
Yeah.
Money,
you can
right?
get them to care because
Yeah,
they may make money, but like in the same process, they're not gonna understand it very well, and then they're susceptible to fraud, scam, losing their money, mismanaging their wallet, losing their password, all the problems of naivety in this ecosystem, which haven't been solved remotely close.
Yeah.
The naivety. Look, it's one. I want to speak on chicken because I'm thoroughly involved in chicken.
You got some chickens, man.
And it's like the first. It's the first real NFT project that caught my eye. Not because it's doing anything phenomenal, which I think it is doing some low key phenomenal things, but it's like it's fun, and I think it's going to be even more fun if I ever get audited and people are like, so what do you mean you swapped your egg for USDC on a weekly basis? Where's this income coming from? And I'm going to be like,
my chickens. I was pinning to my chickens.
Yeah, so
whoa.
Have these chickens. One of my buddies that I work with named his chicken recently the Gladiator.
Nice.
And I was like, very good with the pun.
My wife named hers Giovanna, so there's no pun there. It just went straight for a name.
There's a lot of cock talk going on too, which is good. You can balk for some cock. Balk. I mean, it's but these NFT projects is neat because they do make money, and it's hard for me to explain to people. And they're like, "What do you mean you're making $200 a day from this digital shit or whatever?" And it's like, I can't explain it to you. You just got to get involved. You got to get involved. And I guess I say all this to say that Corey, like it's true. What we've been saying for years, the fact that good to go. You might want to check that one too. You might want to look at that one too.
That'll work on something.
Sorry. We're gonna be middlemen, bro. There's no way around it. I'm explaining to like 5 dudes last night. They're not, vagabonds. They're very successful dudes. They do their own thing. They don't have the time to learn it, right? And I'm just, as I'm talking to them, like, yeah, it's gonna be undeniable for me to be a middleman for GPPs to not, because they're not gonna understand. That no one's ever gonna want to understand.
We've talked about this before, and we're going to keep talking about it. That's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
The only difference is that when someone gets upset with their middleman, they can exit.
Yeah.
Or if they're interested, whether they're upset with them or they just want to learn more and they want to take more self-custody of their own assets, they have the ability to do that. We're building infrastructure that gives you the ability to do that.
Mm-hmm.
There's always going to be middlemen because people don't give a shit. They don't have the time. They're focused on something else. They don't care. They don't want to care. They're paying someone else to worry about that for them.
Yeah.
But for the people that do care, they have options, whereas now they don't. And so that's what we're building, is an infrastructure that gives those people options. And that's the way it's going to be. Like that's probably the proper way it should be.
Let me ask you this question. So I mean, you guys are familiar. You guys are familiar with Neopets, right? Back in the early 2000s.
And I heard the name.
Okay, so it's essentially like management of a digital animal, kind of digital creature, right? And by interacting with said creature,
Was it a
they
keychain?
evolve.
Is that a keychain?
No, that was I think a Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi that they were on keychains.
Tamagotchi
Yeah.
or a keychain. Digimon was
Neopets.
Digimon.
There was a platform to trade them and
Okay.
to battle them and to all these things that you can do with chicken, and they have them, right? Except there was no crypto involved. It was just Neopet coins or whatever they used, right? So the dynamics are very similar, but different. Again, when we're talking about like Axie Infinity, the concept of middlemen already exists in the way that there are people who issue these things called scholarships, right? To people who are interested in managing essentially what would be chickens for you guys, but for Axie Infinity, the little Axies, and basically battling them
So
for
it's
the
superhero, but you need to you got to click the buttons to do the things.
Yeah. So there are people who like are literally giving out loans / they call them scholarships to people who are essentially managing the digital creature and yield farming because they don't have the time to click. So I mean, there are already existing middlemen businesses, and then they guise it under the I'm giving them a way for them to pay for their college in like a third world country by giving them this quote unquote scholarship of managing my digital assets.
But they are. That's the thing, is that like they guide it under that, but these people are actually making money.
It depends, right? Because there's an economic buy-in to participate in a scholarship potentially. There's some sort of buy-in, whether that's
It's like one of
social
those
buy-in.
MLM schemes. Like, well, if you buy the like premier
Exactly.
package, then you can start
Exactly.
making money faster.
Exactly. And so how do you create middlemen systems without it being predatory?
Well, that's the thing, is that if you have, this is something I've been trying to get out more broadly, and this is I think fundamental to the entire ecosystem, is the more inclusive and generalized of a platform you create,
Mm-hmm.
the more likely there is to be scammers, fraud, pyramid schemes, whatever, because you're enabling people to do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives people the freedom to do whatever the hell they want. And some people will want to take advantage of others. And if you don't have the moderation built into the system to handle those people, then they will do it and they will succeed probably.
Right.
But so what's the cost, right? So like, is the benefit worth the cost? Is giving people freedom to have better access to financial instruments or high finance or all the other things worth it, to also have these fraudsters come in at the same time? And over time, if this is the backdrop of the internet, do people become more aware of these things, thus making the concept of, or like the likelihood that fraudsters succeed lower? I don't know the answer to this because it's really hard and complicated. And when something is really hard and complicated, that's an opportunity to take advantage of naivety, especially if there's money involved. So we're building a incredibly inclusive system that's incredibly complex. That's money. So that simultaneously gives people access to incredibly powerful financial instruments that can better their lives, but also puts them in a position to be taken advantage of based on their naivety because they've never had these things before.
Mm-hmm. I think like pay to earn is turning into microloans for and microloans can help a community, but they can also hurt a community. It just depends on who's doing that and the system that you're saying. Exactly. What you're saying is, are there built-in safeguards to prevent malicious behavior that is like predatory? Because the inclusiveness is too broad.
When
I
are
think
people gonna stop fucking believing that if they just click a button, they're gonna get rich?
That's not a thing that stops, though, man. There's gonna be a Nigerian prince everywhere, right? Like that's never gonna stop.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't know. It's it's such a boundary. We've put in a tremendous amount of effort in this ecosystem trying to understand what's going on. And I think those of us who have been around here long enough, who've done a lot of work, have been financially rewarded for that. And the amount of that reward is probably much, much, much larger than those who have put in a tremendous amount of sweat equity into a traditional job. We've been very, very blessed with like financial freedom by being in this industry, which makes people think they can do the same thing. And you hear time and time again of people being in this industry earlier, getting stupid rich, and then fucking off because of a few decisions they made. So people think they can do the same thing. That gets taken advantage of. Is that always going to be the case for this industry? Shouldn't be. I hope not. But it still is today.
Yeah. It's the building tools thing that like this industry needs. It needs some tools to be built out a lot better than it has. And it's good that there's always people actively working on it. Right? I think that people they look at people's success from this space and think, like you said, Corey, they think that somebody hit the jackpot. But they didn't hit the jackpot. They were building in this space for a very long time. And whatever they built caught on.
I guarantee anyone who comes and services my new house and sees me walk out the door, they're going to be like, look at this douchebag.
Yeah.
Why is he living in this house?
Here's somebody right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Get a Michael.
And yes, I do have the sauce.
Hey, me too.
Yes, we have the sauce.
Speaking of NFTs, do you want to watch me try and make an NFT on the screen?
We're gonna get to that. You could
do that later.
We could do that while we're talking.
Yeah, see what we're talking.
Yeah, we're gonna make an NFT, guys. This is how it's done. This is how it's fucking done. When somebody say, "How you do the NFT?"
We're gonna make an image. How about we say that?
Nifty.ink, for those who are curious, this is just a little platform for drawing cheap NFTs and putting them on. I think it's the XI network, but you can push them over.
Oh, okay.
Y'all tell me what to build, and I'll build it. What is this? What episode is this?
380.
I got a new spiffy drawing monitor. I want to try it out. So that's what we're doing.
383.
Do you think we should like change the narrative so that we're not just saying we're drawing an NFT, and like specifically say like we're drawing an image that there's going to be a token on the blockchain that points to this image, and you know, rather than like generalizing what an NFT is, where the nuances are lost, and then people buy into the idea that, you know, flip an NFT for money. We can start educating.
I'm buying the thing that points to this image.
Yeah.
I'm not buying the image.
Yeah.
But we can't
make 383.
We can't make it that specific though, Jess, because then it doesn't catch.
I know, that's the thing. It's like the things that are catchy have to be simple narratives, but they become abusable from like a consumption standpoint because they turn into like lottery tickets, right?
Mm-hmm.
People think they're going to hit it big if they mint, you know, something from a collection that's been big before or is owned by somebody famous or whatever.
Yeah. Hey, but people, you should know what you're signing on for. You know what I'm saying? People should
yeah, but they don't know. That's the thing.
People should know what they're getting into. And if you don't know, that's your fault. That's it. Like that's why crypto's so dangerous for most people. It's because if you don't know what you're doing, you can fuck yourself up. And there's a whole lot of places that are gonna prevent you from fucking yourself up.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
Should we do a shameless plug right now? I think that's a good segue into a shameless plug for the Dad DAO. Is a place where you can learn how to not fuck yourself up. That's right.
That's a good way of saying it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Jessie, I'm not gonna lie to you. You being so tiny does throw off my fucking toy a little bit. Like you literally.
Yeah, you're like a tiny person right now.
Oh, like a tiny person.
You look like a Baggins from. You do. Sorry, I just was thinking if there were any Asian Frodos
Next time, I'll make sure that I'm centered in the picture and larger.
Yeah, we should have a woke moment right now. I didn't see any black Frodos, and I didn't see any Asian Frodos or
Mhm.
Hispanic Frodos in that movie. Right? I'm about to write. We need to contact our J.R. Tolkien to figure out.
Wait, there were no black characters in Lord of the Rings? Yeah, there weren't.
I think that what they were trying to
Yeah,
say,
they were orcs.
the orcs were the black people, which is a whole other thing. We're not even gonna go into that. All right. But
Interesting.
what?
Mahomes and Kelsey were downstairs.
No, you fucking with
swear
me.
to God.
Sorry, guys.
But they
Weird.
I swear to God.
Carlos was gonna call me.
All right.
How am I drawing? How am I
It
drawing?
looks nice. I like it. There's a little
A
frame.
frame. I made a frame.
PvP. Yeah, dude, it looks nice. I like it. So what are you drawing?
I don't know. I just made a frame.
No. Well, people heard you. You trying to get into the show.
What's up, guys?
Oh,
Hey, buddy.
What's
Who
going
I'm
on?
talking to?
This is Jeff.
Oh, hey, Jeff.
How are you?
Yeah.
Hey, Corey.
I was telling them how I was talking to your buddies about trying to explain crypto to them, and it's like,
Way over there. Are y'all recording?
we are. You're live.
Oh, shit.
oh shit.
You can edit that, right?
Live.
We're live, so no. But we can edit it before it gets posted. All right. So sorry, guys. My football heroes. This is their favorite casino, and they're here. They're downstairs.
Chiefs?
Yes.
Oh, you got to go.
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, go get him.
So I'm gonna go fangirl.
All right, you go fangirl. Me and Jesse will pick it up.
I'm kidding. It's good for right now. I think they're gonna let us know when they're back downstairs. But sorry, not to get off topic. Let's get back.
Have we informed the audience that we have? I remember being there. So I've been out for a month. I know that the listeners have realized that because I haven't been talking for a month. They know that we are no longer going to be the Bitcoin podcast in a matter of short time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Everything's moving over to hashing it out. We have no details as to what that migration looks like.
Mhm.
We don't. But we are excited. You know, it gives us a little. See, right now, audience, there's a little bit of monkey on our back because we are the Bitcoin podcast. But Bitcoin is kind of boring to us, and people, you know, it just makes. I know when I
Not
say
boring.
that,
It just isn't. It doesn't encompass the ecosystem like it used to, right? Like when you said Bitcoin back in 2015 when we started this thing, it meant everything.
yeah,
That for damn sure doesn't mean that now.
Mhm.
We're still talking about everything.
yeah. So, and we're way past the time when the capital B was the tech and the lowercase b was the currency.
That's not even worth talking about anymore. That's all. That's so far gone.
Nobody gives a shit about that shit anymore. So we are going to move to hashing it out, where we will have conversations that are a little bit deeper and a little bit wider than what we talk about on this show. So we're looking forward to that transition, and you know, you guys coming as our core audience over to that transition. So speaking of which, talking about things outside of Bitcoin, we've got Avalanche, we got Solana. This is one thing I hate about the crypto market is that it's so irrational. And it's just like, what was that saying? Like the market will stay irrational for longer than you'll stay solvent.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
it's
it's the term.
Solana, which goes down all the time. And all these other, I think in the top 10 cryptos, there's just stuff that just frankly doesn't belong there. But the market is demanding it there, I guess. And when it comes to the tech winners aren't winning per se when it comes to the dollar value of them. And it was funny. We had an interview, Corey, Jessie and I, with a woman named Tasha. She's like an investor slash crypto Twitter.
I wanted to be on that one. That one seemed pretty good.
And it was funny because she just shut Jessie down. And Jessie was like, she's like, I'm big on Solana. and I'm big on Ethereum, whatever. And Jessie was like, yeah, but they don't work. And then she was like,
No. I specifically wanted to talk about, I believe, Solana, right? And about how it's had downtime. And I wanted to talk about that, right? But because she didn't want to talk about Solana because her investments are Solana, she didn't want to talk about anything bad about Solana, is what I got. Yeah. So she was only interested in talking about the pros of her bags rather than the cons.
yeah.
Yeah.
And she didn't want to talk about it. So I brought it up again to her, Jessie, on Twitter. I was like, hey, when you came to the show, you shut it down. I'm gonna ask you the question here in front of everybody on Twitter. Why do you think the best tech isn't going to win? And she still hasn't answered my tweet. I don't think I have enough followers for her to answer my tweet. You know, I need to have 5-digit followers.
You got
enough followers for her to join the show.
Yeah, we need. What are you writing, Corey? You writing what people should?
I'm writing the top 10. It's the top 10.
Binance.
Top 10.
You know, there's another exchange token dropping called like BNCT, and it's like got all of the most popular centralized exchanges outside of Coinbase backing it. And
BNCT, Bitcoin Connect.
No.
Like the second iteration.
I don't know what it's called, but you know, there's been so many. I want to talk. There's one development that was very funny to me is like the Congress, the U.S. Congress, is already starting to paint the picture in verbiage that one day they're just gonna take USDC and it's gonna be the government's, right? And that's not like cool, but it also is kind of very American, right? Like it is. Like the Federal Reserve is a bunch of private banks. So it's just funny to me.
It's not all just a bunch of private banks, right? There's different allocations of ownership over it, but I mean, you can generalize it like that, I guess.
We went down that rabbit hole some years ago, Jesse, where we were like, what is the Federal Reserve? And it got so deep, we were like, why does anybody complain that crypto is too complex when this shit right here is like, you got to have a degree in economics just to understand what the fuck the Federal Reserve is. So
how they print money, I think, you might need to understand the underpinnings of how they adjust, what they adjust. But like in terms of who owns what, I think there's like an easy to digest like pie graph, right? And you can see what percentage is owned by which private entities.
Yeah. We should give the audience some hopium. Right.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna give the audience some hopium right now. So when it comes to crypto, the largest and still sustainable threat to crypto is that governments will ban it. Right? Because that makes it harder to get your hands on it, harder to do commerce with it. It's just tough, right? And there's a talk of central bank digital currency.
That's the hardest existential threat to crypto in a given ecosystem.
Say again, Corey?
That's more, in my opinion, that's more of an existential threat to crypto in a particular ecosystem.
What do you mean by
unravel that?
Yeah, what do you mean? What particular?
Say a particular government bans crypto. The residents within that jurisdiction of that government no longer have access to that crypto. It doesn't kill the crypto. It kills the crypto for people in that jurisdiction and their ability to use it. Well, legally use it. But like, look at China. Like, they've gone back and forth. They banned things. They kept things. They banned things. They did their own. But I would still venture a guess that a good portion of cryptocurrency transactions are still routed through China.
Yeah.
People in China still have cryptocurrency. It's just more difficult to then turn it into fiat, or they take on additional risk in order to use that type of thing. And so and it also depends on the cryptocurrency. If it's if China makes a cryptocurrency and then removes it, then that kills them. But just because a given jurisdiction makes it more difficult to access a globally dispersed asset. It doesn't kill it. It hinders its adoption and its use case for sure, because all those people are no longer using it. But it doesn't kill it.
Do you think there's some hopium in the fact that India banned Bitcoin and now they've gone 180 and now it's legal? I don't know if it's legal tender, but it's legal, but they're applying a 30% VAT tax when you spend it, which is fucking hefty, right?
A lot, 30%.
30%
For spending it. That's basically the same as what we have. It's a 30% capital gains tax for spending it, assuming you spend it within a year of getting it.
Yeah, if you spend it in a year, which makes it a current asset, and you spend it, then you're
That's also like you're spending 30% on. Well, maybe not the same because you're only doing it on the difference of its value from when you bought it to when you bought it. But like doing that accounting is a fucking nightmare. So
it definitely encourages you to not spend it, in my opinion.
and now I'm going to go through these.
What's Luna? That's a new one.
I don't know what these are.
I see
I don't know what these are. You
XRP. I see Luna.
remember when Neo was a top 5 and then it disappeared? Remember when Neo was ant shares?
Yeah. How does it even make sense that USDC is in the top 10 when USDC is just a stable coin? It just doesn't make sense.
Because there's the supply of it, right? Because that's all this is.
What the fuck is this? I think Luna's another chain, Corey. Luna's a whole nother blockchain, right? So now we're living in this multi-chain world, right? Sorry, I keep switching topics, but I am on the, you know what I mean? So we're living in this multi-chain world. We got Luna, we have Solana.
Somebody needs to investigate Luna.
We have, you know, I don't see. What I'm calling for is something I called for back in 2017, which is more a rapid consolidation around some standards, because it can't just keep getting more and more and more complex. Like, I feel like that's not sustainable. Now we got multi-chains, which is kind of cool. I'm not going to lie to you, from a personal standpoint, when I do Etherscan and Snowtrace and I'm using the same exact C chain address, and then I can just swap between the Ethereum chain, swap between Polymatic, I think it is. And you can see your value on all of those chains, which is trippy and cool at the same time. But I just wish there would be some like rally around standards. I think Avalanche tries to push that it wants to be the standard, but Avalanche is like, you know, I feel like they're pushy. That's all I'm going to say. I feel like what I do. I feel like Avalanche.
Every blockchain has like a personality. Avalanche is pushy.
Avalanche.
Like, what is Solana? What is like
is
Cardano?
Well, Solana is
Ethereum.
like. I feel like Solana is the personality of, you know, the guy that makes his Volkswagen look like a Porsche by going to the junkyard a lot and buying like really nice, or not really nice, but he like, you know, he could do work with his hands. So he goes and he makes his Volkswagen look like a Porsche. And then you've seen people like that.
I've never seen a Volkswagen that looks like a Porsche. I've seen
Well,
Porsches.
They'll
but
basically
Porsches-
they'll use the frame of whatever car they have, and then they'll change the exterior to make it look like a different car. That's what I think Solana is. I think Solana is really crappy. It's good at one thing, but it's got a really good marketing team behind it, and it's got a nice color, you know, that purple, that fuchsia. It's got some, you know, a nice logo. But I like what Corey's doing. He's adding some notes. Bitcoin is a snooze. That lime green on ETH, I can't even read that lime green. What does that say?
ETH, it says too expensive to use.
USDT.
Let's move it into a dark green.
Tether, not real backing. Nobody understands it, right? The Tether bomb. I think the Tether bomb is going to be something in crypto that is like the biggest myth that never materializes, right? Everybody thinks that one day Tether is going to implode and drag everything down to hell. And it's like, that's not going to happen, guys. It's just not. I'm going to tell you why it's not going to happen. Where's my Negro Damas sticker? Can we throw that on there? Can we throw my Negro Damas sticker up there? It's coming.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's changed.
That's
That's not what it used to look
That is
like.
not the old Migodamus.
But I'm okay with it. My third eye is very large, so that's okay. The reason why USDT is not going to implode is because too many really, really wealthy people have money in it, so they're not going to let it implode. Period. All right. I know it sounds simple, but that's the reality. Quote me. Take me to court. Quote me. Write it down. The 3 people. That's right. If you're watching this right now, quote me. That's what's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen with Tether ever. And then we've got BNB laws. Why'd you put laws? It's Binance coin, bro. It's Binance, bro.
Yeah. Balls.
Binance.
Go run a Binance node. Tell me how you do.
Law contracts.
how much like how different is Binance now from when they forked it from Ethereum?
Oh, it's the EVM. It's just run by like 3 nodes that no one
Right.
can actually run.
Okay. But like in terms of updates to anything, the EVM or
I don't know
smart
how
contract.
I don't know how close they are in terms of keeping up with the Geth.
Yeah.
They've made a few altered changes, of course, because this mechanism is not anything useful.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I don't know about their capability to like roll back transactions or censor transactions. I mean, they of course censor things because it's just a few nodes, but in terms of rolling back things, I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it. It's like I've heard from countless people that it's impossible to run a node if they let you.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
So like
Gotcha.
having independent node runners keep up with the state of things is basically impossible. I don't know how they're reporting their numbers. Apparently a lot, but they're probably
How about
significantly
XRP?
inflated.
Like how does their
XRP isn't a blockchain. That's a financial technology for
Ripple
banks. It's like XRP is banking 2.0.
XRP is trying to replace Swift.
Yeah, but what does it look like?
Which is a reasonable thing to want to do. But I think
There's no
Ripple
nodes,
is trying
there's
to
no
replace Swift.
blockchain.
I don't know the reason for XRP. The combination of Swift and XRP, of Ripple and XRP, I don't know the marriage of those 2 things. I don't know why you need XRP. I don't think you do.
That's
So,
why
okay.
that's why they're cool with the SEC.
And to be honest, I'm ignorant there. So like if someone wants to come on the show and try and explain that to me, I'd be happy to talk.
Well, what's his name? What's his name? Tried to come on the show.
Luciano wants to talk about Hex. Hex is garbage. Period. It's the best made Ponzi in all of Ponzi that have ever Ponzi.
It's a well made.
It's
So
very well made Ponzi.
you have to talk to you talk to Joe.
I don't think it's, to be fair, I don't think it's doing anything illegal.
Here's another shameless
whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's just you're funneling money into Richard Hart. He's laughing about it. But funny enough, you can probably make a profit from it. There's no reason for it other than funneling money to Richard Hart and potentially making gains from funneling money to Richard Hart. That's it. That's as best as I can understand it.
No, there's nuance that you're missing out when you say that, Corey.
I'm sure there is. I haven't.
But
into it
and the way people I get it. I actually, again, because like I'm pretty fucking receptive to a lot of shit, right? But I can kind of put my foot down and kind of delineate what makes sense and doesn't make sense. When everybody says Hex is a well-crafted Ponzi, one, they're not operating on a completely accurate definition of what exactly a Ponzi is. But for most people, saying the phrase Ponzi is enough to kind of encapsulate the gist of it, because at the end of the day, if you look at the dynamics of how Hex value appreciates, you essentially lock Hex, you get additional Hex at a non-linear rate. And if Richard Hart didn't, anyway, I could talk more to it, but there is nuance that you're missing. But essentially, it's a CD. I just don't think, like Corey, I wouldn't recommend people get into it. It's just but as an intellectual curiosity,
The
it's interesting.
linchpin of its success is Richard Hart not walking away. Why would he walk away? I don't know. because he's making so much money. So
There's
there's no reason for him to walk away, but he is a complete single point of failure. I'd be interested to see a project that cloned Hex on something like Avalanche that removed the funnel to this primary account that gets all of the proceeds from just about every transaction that happens on the platform.
Apparently,
If that
there
happened,
there
I'd be
exist
interested in that.
clones on Ethereum, but they're not
Okay.
successful for reasons
Well,
that.
I'd say the bootstrapping mechanism he used to get Bitcoin people to get involved,
Mhm.
and a lot of the marketing dynamics that are shady,
Yeah,
made the platform successful in the first
I agree.
place.
I
To
agree.
like get it to a point where people made enough money that they can then proselytize it to others.
Yeah.
And then they made money, and then they
100%.
made money.
100%.
And so now it's like very much like a Ponzi in that
Yeah.
the
Well,
proceeds come from new people coming in a lot of ways.
that's not a
from their own.
Ponzi, but
It's exactly what a Ponzi is. A Ponzi
Mm.
is I make money by getting other people to put money in. Is
no, that's an MLM.
that not a Ponzi?
But even an MLM is no. Like that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like people bastardize definitions of certain
I'm probably
phrases.
doing
It's exactly that. We're both doing it. Like there's a specific definition that's only relevant to what a Ponzi is, but everybody in colloquial English, we just say it's a Ponzi when you put money in and
Yeah, it's
basically
like-
last
it's-
one out
It's
loses.
a more well-defined way of saying it's a scam.
Yeah.
I mean, Richard Hart is gonna
Dick Hart.
making a lot of money, and he's gonna do it for a really long time because people believe in this. I got a dude on Facebook hits me up all the time about Hex. He's like, "Man, you should really come to these Hex learning sessions that I go to on a weekly basis." And I'm just like, "Bro, stop! Like, stop it!" And he's in it. Like he's in it, but every time I ask him the simple questions, like, "Can you are you making money off that?" He's like, "Well," and I'm like, have you made any money, like real money? Like, have you backed it out into USD? Have you increased your purchasing power? And he's like, well, no, no is the answer to that.
But like it's the same
gonna-
dynamics of like NFT projects that have like DeFi aspects, like your chicken, for instance. Like if there wasn't enough liquidity in the market to sell your chicken NFT, at least you're lowering your initial position, like your initial investment into the chickens by selling, assets that are created by essentially participating with the chicken, the egg or the feed. Like you're dumping those actively in order to break even on your initial investment, right? And so like that's the way to approach these things for the people, like exactly what Corey was saying for Hex, the people who did the Bitcoin to Hex conversion at the launch of Hex are the ones who are making the most money and proselytizing it as exactly what Corey's saying is like it's a solution. It can make you money. And unfortunately, there are people who don't. It's a very simple concept. If you're
They're
early
here to make money.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit of ignorance and the simplicity of the narrative that you're going to make money.
How are
But
we gonna sell this NFT that Corey's making? Let's talk real talk.
how do we sell it?
Yeah, let's do an auction.
Well, I mean, the last one I made, I just gave it away for free.
How dare you, Jessie?
Like, yeah, Wayne has them all. He has 10, I think, of the last one I made.
I have a few on my own, like the
I
original
think it was our founding father George Washington that said, "If you're good at something, never do it for free."
What the fuck is BUSD?
It's fucking a lie.
What are you talking about? It's absolutely true.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh
sure.
no! That was the Joker from The Dark Knight.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I got those two confused. Got those two really confused. My bad on that.
All right. So of the top 13 projects,
It's crazy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 have any potential merit, in my opinion.
Circle the three.
I'll give Cardano and Solana a modicum of merit.
I think there's three.
Solana's pretty interesting.
It is, but it's just build it with a fucking database. Like there's no point.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I agree, but like the way they're doing the things, it's interesting from like a
Sure,
technical standpoint.
I'll pull whatever interesting research they come up with
Yeah,
that's better on something else.
sure.
But as a platform, I'm not too excited about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Doge
I
is transitioning into proof of stake. I'm curious to see how that goes.
I did not know that.
They are, and Vitalik is apparently helping, from what I've read. I have no
What?
idea what BUSD is. Avalanche is, in my opinion, one of the most novel projects in the entire ecosystem that has potential to scale. Bitcoin and Ethereum, everyone knows who they are. They're the ketchup and mustard of the entire ecosystem. USDC, reasonable stable currency backed by real US dollars.
What's dot?
Dot. Oh, it's Polkadot. It's the
Oh, okay.
currency by Polkadot. Polkadot is a reasonable, differentiated project. It probably suffers from potential scaling issues at the consensus layer because it's standard traditional Byzantine fault tolerant algorithm. See how it goes, but it's built in a very interesting way that I think has merit. Surprised that Cosmos isn't on here, but
I think that there's 3 on there that are worth a damn, and that's BTC, ETH.
oh, Atom is 20. So like, think about this, right? Look at this. Look at this picture. There's so much garbage in the top.
Wait, but you do need
Why would
stable
someone
coins,
look
right?
at this ecosystem and say they really got something going on?
They really got what?
They really got something going on. These guys are on to something.
No, there's absolutely no reason.
From a technical perspective, there's serious problems with the majority of the top 20 tokens.
Yeah. But people don't know that. They just buy it.
The market will catch up, though.
Yeah, it will.
Right, Jesse.
Will it?
I think it will, Corey, in time.
For most GPPs that do have the courage to dive into crypto, they think they're stocks. There's not a difference. They call them shares. They call them shares. They're asking the same questions like
they're Wall Street bets people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I mean, to them, I can't argue with them. From the outside looking in, I'm like, hey.
I mean, that's how everybody got into the space. I mean, like Bitcoin was that. It was like you look at it like an asset that you're buying a slice of, and then you write it up.
Yeah. It's gonna be valuable as shit, though. I know that much. It's a valuable assets out here. I know. Go ahead.
Think this thing. What am I gonna call it?
Let's call it the top 13 crypto token law. I don't know. You gotta capitalize that T because of grammar. Top 13 cryptos.
If you look at the subreddits of different projects, like different L1s, there's a lot of people that are like aching to learn more than just speculate and invest. And I mean, it happens every cycle, right? Because once things go bearish, people are like, how do I like, if they want to, they'll make the plunge. Like, how do I get more involved with it? But you don't see that behavior happen during the bull market as it's running up.
Hey, Luciano said HNT project created the greatest utility in crypto I've seen so far. That's the handshake. What's HNT?
I don't know what HNT is.
Oh, hold on.
Why are we holding on? For one more day.
Helium?
Helium.
Is it helium?
Helium is great.
Yeah.
I like it. Helium is a really interesting project.
Helium.
I'm interested to see how they expand beyond what they're currently doing, which is a long range
Wi-Fi mesh sharing, and then
it's for like Internet of Things currently.
Yep.
The people who I've known to do these things have made a significant profit off providing this mesh in more urban areas.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, funny enough,
no, rural areas. If you get elevation in rural areas, you can make a killing. You actually get more ROI if you're the first node.
Yeah, you don't want to be saturated in a place where everyone gets it. Like if you're the one place to do it, then you're going to get a lot more.
Exactly. So you gotta go to a desert, and you gotta like put a really tall antenna and stick your node up there for helium.
Mm-hmm. It's the people.
But we interviewed Allie,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
The painting a day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
she got hit up after that from Helium as a sponsor. She asked me to like vet them, and I remember Stephen Mackey, who's been on
Yeah.
the show quite a few times in the past, and we do Block Channel with.
hmm
He was touting them when they first started, and they've been chugging along, making new products, continuing to develop, and increasing the bandwidth of overall, like first increasing the coverage of their service and increasing the bandwidth of what you can get, so that eventually they may actually have a full Wi-Fi mesh
hmm
down the line. So like I think it's a very interesting project. I like that idea of like giving people hardware, and then that hardware providing a mesh service and incentivizing the people who provide the service to those people who use it. I
Are
love
there
that.
any like vulnerabilities to like home networks? Like, is there
I don't
built-in
think-
security?
Yeah, those things are pretty well isolated from your home network.
Gotcha.
But there was a VPN product. I forget what it was called. I don't think it was a DVPN. Something else that basically like is an open door to your entire network.
Oh,
So like you download that piece of software, get the node, and then you run that software, and it's like, hey, would you like access to my entire network? Here you go. And I think they may have fixed it. That was a long time ago, but like you have to do weirder stuff like that for sure.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think like for the helium stuff, it doesn't work if you're around a lot of trees. I thought, but
No, is there anything big news wise that's happened in crypto that kind of took you guys by some? Well, Alicia just posted something that there was $6 million in Ethereum.
line signing.
Luciano Ropero just says you're not sharing your Wi-Fi. You're proving LORA coverage. Yeah, I don't know enough about that.
Yeah, you're not sharing Wi-Fi on those things.
LORA.
Gotcha.
Long range.
The devices themselves provide it's long range coverage, right? It's a low bandwidth, long range coverage for like IoT devices, not for like your phone connecting to Wi-Fi. And that's the initial implementation of the network they're trying to do, and that coverage has gotten pretty broad. I think the next iteration is trying to start to do Wi-Fi stuff. Last time I looked at it, I'm not sure if they've done it. Luciano, you seem to know. You might know.
Ooh, the future's gonna be trippy, man. I know. I just got this thing at work. It's pretty dope. Like I could shoot Wi-Fi out 3 miles from like
Yeah.
point with these antennas. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, there's a dish on Amazon you
Those
can
are
buy.
pretty
Like,
focused.
Yeah,
yeah, it's just a straight beam.
that's
So like,
sick.
yeah.
What happens if someone puts aluminum foil in the beam?
It doesn't work.
Hey, man, it's a legitimate question. I just want to
Yeah.
As good as your answer. It
Well,
don't work
How
anymore.
big is the aluminum? Like
Yeah.
how?
If it's because they're so focused, if you get in the way of that beam, it doesn't work. Like they need to be line of sight.
What about
Depends.
pigeons? What if a pigeon gets up in there?
I don't depend on that much.
You know, the pigeons are actually.
I mean, pigeon is like a water, right? It's like
Fiber.
it's like bone and water and fiber water. So like it'll go right through. It really
Fiber.
won't matter.
The pigeons are actually spreading 5G microbes. It's a conspiracy I found on the internet.
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
You should
No,
probably
I think
wrap this
depending
up.
on like
Yeah.
the distance that you get the satellite or the little dish, the antenna array, whatever, you can cast it like some like 25 miles away.
Mhm.
Or not, is it 25 or 25 kilometers? And like the wavelength of the signal is like it can pass through pretty small objects, so you don't need to really worry.
Okay. Well, I think we can wrap. It's a good show back. Trying to get into the groove here. We're zooming through these episodes one a week, so we can only zoom so fast. But what we would like you all to do is recommend the guests that we can have on for episode 400. Hop into the Slack at the bitcoinpodcast.com. Go to the bitcoinpodcast.com, push the button that says Slack, and join the Slack. And well, thank you, Luciano. He said this is a great show. The three of you are amazing.
Look at that. Look at
Uh,
that.
Make
You're
it-
amazing. We will do something with this NFT at some point once I figure out how to do blind signing.
Luciano, I'll tell you this: if you like the Bitcoin podcast, you're gonna love hashing it out. We're gonna. I'm really excited to just kind of change the tone of things that we present to you guys, and do things that we really want to do. So I'm excited about it.
And join the Slack. Join the Slack first and foremost, because
Mhm.
if you're not already in there, there's a lot of good conversation that happens there.
We're gonna do some shameless plugging now, right? So let's do a little bit of shameless plugging. Corey works with a company called Status. You can check that out. What is it? Status.network. What's the website, Corey?
That's what I am.
Status.im. Check out Status. Jessie and I are working on a project called, and also a gentleman by the name of Michael, who's in the Slack, who's a builder extraordinaire. Excuse me. We are working on a DAO that is more than just a glorified chat room with 3 people holding a multi-sig address. We're actually trying to build a distributed autonomous organization on top of Algorand, which is one token we didn't get a chance to talk about today, but I think it deserves to be a little bit higher on the list of tokens that are worth stuff.
It depends.
If you want to join that Discord to the Dad DAO, go to daddao.org. Hold on, I'm going to type it right here so you can, boom, go there. daddao.org. It'll take you to the website. You'll see a bunch of dads. And then you can
I'm
click
getting a remix on that, Corey.
every
You'll-
Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time, we have town hall sessions. And you could join the town hall and figure out the progress that's being made with the Dad DAO. But I think some pretty awesome stuff is going. We have, Jessie, and you can please correct me if I'm wrong, please, but we will be able to verify that you are a human and verify your role in the DAO using the DAD token.
We can't verify that you're a human. What we can do is we can bind the Discord ID to the account that holds the ASA asset.
Yeah. So it's an NFT, and it's basically going to scan your Algorand wallet to see if you have it. And if you do have it, then you do get access to the Discord. If you don't have it, then you don't.
Yeah, so it's essentially what Dee's saying is it's an ASA or like an NFT, which is specific to Algorand, has access to the Discord.
Yeah, which is neat. I think it's novel, to tell you the truth. In my eyes, it feels novel because I don't know, Corey.
It's novel to Algorand to some degree, but it's not a novel idea.
Is it novel? Like Solana, I think does it too, right?
Right.
A lot of the other networks are building in native NFTs, basically, which allow for these types of things.
Yeah, we're going to be proposing a new standard probably for Algorand to encompass what we're going to be doing.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like standards.
We're doing real well. Jessie and Michael are doing real work. I am the marketer, so
Hype man.
it's my job to communicate to you, the listeners, of what we're building, right?
Hype
And
man.
the best way for me to explain it is an incubator / with a little bit of Shark Tank flavoring to it.
It's a school. It's a school that pipelines talented people to create their ideas. So it's like it's not
this is how you
necessarily a
don't
launch.
suck.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, don't suck. Come hang out with the Dad DAO.
Pretty much. We called it the Dad DAO because dads are dope. Dads are cool. If you don't have a dad, if you don't have a dad, you can join the Dad DAO and get one. You know, it's like going too far. It's like going too far, Jessie.
I don't know. It's up to you, dude. You're
All right.
All right. Let's wrap it. Let's go.
Wrap this up. You can become a patron, but I'm just gonna be honest with you. We're about to switch to hashing it out, so
I mean, we'll do something for whatever the patrons are doing now. We'll do something for them too, right? Like, whatever we migrate to. If you're currently a patron, you will get whatever the hell the equivalent is over there too. You're not going to get left out.
please join our Slack. Our Slack is actually growing.
Slack is the best place to go.
Our Slack is growing at a
Yeah.
rate I am comfortable with. It's growing at a rate where we can continue to have it be a little bit quote unquote walled. It's not literally walled, like you don't have to pay to be in there. It's free.
Mhm.
But the type of individuals that that gravitate towards the Slack are just, you guys are geniuses, man. I think there's like $1 billion ideas just
There's
sitting.
a lot of talented people there for sure.
It's some talent, some genius level shit going on that Slack all the time.
Yep.
You know, power users, crypto power users are what, you know, if you're listening to this show because you stumbled upon us through the Google algorithms and you're like, where can I go to get pure, uncut,
Unadulterated genius?
Here, go to the Slack. I'm not lying. I'm not saying that just because we built it. I'm saying it because it's true. There's not a lot of communities I've seen that are like it. All right. So
Yeah.
what's next? I don't even know what that is. Oh yeah, the podcast app. You know, give us 5 stars. Why not? You know, then we can compete with Joe Rogan. Right?
We're almost there.
We're almost there.
Now we're gonna do some shout outs. I'm pretty sure that's the Winter Soldier playing Tommy from the Pam and Tommy Lee show that's coming up.
They made a show?
Yeah, apparently
Their nudity?
their sex tape was so popular in the 90s
I mean, I watched it.
that they
Was it on VHS?
Yeah.
I probably downloaded it on Kazaa. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? I might even have the VHS. Who knows?
Dude, the sex tape was such a good hack for celebrities.
so-
Like, how do we make porn
first.
money?
They were the first to like get fame from sex tape.
Yeah, like how do we make porno money without doing a porn? Oh, we're gonna say somebody broke into our house and broke into our safe and stole the DVD of us boning. And that's that. Like, they didn't take anything else. They just took our personal porn and then they distributed it. And then somehow I made money off of that. Totally not porn. Nick Cannon, shout out to you, man. You've got like 80,000 kids and you're not bashful about it.
Nick Cannon's hilarious.
What's not hilarious, obviously, is his pipe game, because that man has so many kids.
How many kids does he have?
He's got like 7 or 8 kids.
Oh, okay.
He is piping.
He's got money to support it. He ain't got the time. That's for damn sure. Those kids are not getting
Those
attention.
kids are tax breaks. That's what those kids are. We got old long neck and wide face, Zoe Saldana, looking good, girl. Looking real good there. That's a good picture of you too. I hope I get to meet you someday. Maybe when you're done with that lawsuit for fucking with that shitty ICO in 2017, you can come on the show and tell us all about it.
Ooh, that'd be a great interview. Oh God, can we get that interview? Alicia, work on that.
Yeah, let's get Zoe Saldana on the show. We've been giving her shout outs for 4 years. I feel like it's time. I'm gonna ask her how she learned those twerking maneuvers in Drumline. All right, next person. I think that's it. We can wrap up the show. Go to daddow.org. Become a dad. Get in there early so you can get all the benefits of being early, right? And then learn how we're building what we're building. And if you do have marketing chops, I can use your help. Join the Dad Dow. All right. Play the outro.